Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to WrestleMania Live pre-show with me, John Scott, and I've come on a little bit earlier, like half an hour earlier than I said I was, purely because I'm absolutely knackered. If I'm honest, I've done literally from last night. I've done four other podcasts, not including my own. So that's five altogether, and one of them featured a watch along of the WrestleMania 12 match between Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart for some US based podcast that you guys will hear about very very shortly in the coming week. But yeah, I'm from last night. I literally had like about an hour's kip in between all that. Because I had to stay up and do the post WrestleMania for some people in the States. So I am I'm pretty much just running on Red Bull and coffee, and I think my voice is about to go as well. So I better be careful, really. Anyway, guys, welcome WrestleMania 36. Not long now, and of course, regardless of whether you catch me live or not, I'll still, you can still catch up with the podcast. I just do apologise for anybody that wanted to chat with us and stuff like that, like as I do it, because you might have wanted to just come on and do that. But I'm just going to go from some of the emails instead and try and generalise it as much as possible, so I can just like answer the questions in more of a batches rather than going through them singly. Don't forget to check us out on all our social media platforms. That's at WrestleLine on Twitter and Facebook, at WrestleLine channel for Instagram. Don't forget the website wrestleline.co.uk, and if you want to email us, especially to give me your thoughts on WrestleMania after you've seen it, it's real easy. It's email at wrestleline.co.uk, so it's really really simple. And really easy. Now, I will cover some little bits of news that I've got in for WrestleMania, but I'm well aware that a lot of listeners don't like spoilers. So if there are anything that kind of crosses that line, I'll give you fair warning. I'll give you a heads up, because I don't like spoiling that for people that watch the show, for it. So basically tonight, I was planning to watch this live. That was the plan, but I am probably not going to be able to make it. I just can't see myself managing another night of WrestleMania, plus then going back on, because I've got to get up extremely early again for another US-based podcast. So there's just no way I'm going to fit it all in. So I have decided to kind of catch up with it in the early hours of the morning still, but I'll be able to get some hours in from now, which I think will help me a little bit. I'm going to go through like the matches as well, again, just in case people don't know, and I'll do like a little mini preview, nothing too crazy long on that, and I'll give you some little bits of news. Just some news coming out of like last night's WrestleMania, the part one. A lot of people suggesting The Undertaker is done again with WWE. Now, I've got to be honest with you, when I chatted earlier and everywhere else I've been on, I have not really heard that until I've come on and seen it like branded all over the various wrestling news sites. And they're putting this down to the fact that there are a lot of little hidden clues in the actual match itself that are like hidden away. Now, I watched that match again today, and I've got to say, although they were all there, there's no doubt about that, there were some little hidden messages. I'm not completely convinced that that's the end of The Undertaker, and if it is, then fair play, but I'm pretty much I'm more on the side that we'll see him again. Maybe not for a little while, but we are going to see him again, in my opinion. And of course, that match obviously has gone down like $1,000,000. People are ranting and raving about it. Some fans, as a joke, I hope, are signalling that Undertaker should get an Oscar for the match, which I thought was quite funny. But yeah, interesting. Now, with tonight's matches, we've got Natalia, who's going to be on the card on a pre-show, and I think really I did mention this like a couple of days ago about that she wasn't booked at the time, and she holds this like really, I don't know what the statistic is, but she's got like some crazy statistic where she's been on like every WrestleMania consecutively in her career, and I think she's like one of the few. Certainly, she's like by miles the leading female, but I think she holds a decent record, even like male and female. So she is on it tonight, just to sort of like make sure that record keeps going. And she's going to be facing Liv Morgan in the pre-show. And according to a news outlet I've got now, so this is a little bit of a spoiler. If you don't want to know the match order, they have released supposedly the match order, but to be honest with you, last night's was changed quite severely, so I would take this with a pinch of salt anyway. But according to this, so spoiler alert if you don't want to hear, Otis will be facing Dolph Ziggler in the opening match. Not too bad, I guess. Then we've got Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley, Street Profits versus Angel Garza and Austin Theory for the tag team titles. We've got Bayley, Naomi, Lacey Evans, Tamina for the SmackDown Women's title match. Then we've got Rhea Ripley up against Charlotte. So if this is supposedly to be believed, I'm quite surprised that match is placed there, if I'm honest. But never, I don't know. Like 2 women's matches back to back, I'd be surprised if they do that. John Cena versus Bray Wyatt, Firefly Funhouse, a third from the end, and then we got Edge and Randy Orton last man standing match, semi-main event, and then the main event, the closing match, according to this, is going to be Brock Lesnar and Drew McIntyre. Which, if that is the case, then I reckon that Drew definitely is going over at the end of this, because I can't see them ending on a negative. But I would have doubts maybe on Edge, if I'm honest. I think that that might be a different kind of result to what people are expecting in that one. But we'll see. So I know people were expecting, like last night we had the Boneyard match, and I think people are automatically putting together the Boneyard match with the Firefly Funhouse match, and they're thinking it's kind of going to be the same. I've got a feeling that we're going to be disappointed about that, and but you've got to remember, all these matches were taped and then they've been edited. Now they're all taped like probably mostly in the same day, so the way they've put these matches out, I think they've done like a 50-50 split of what they think is going to entertain us. And they might have put they might have gone 60-40 to Sunday, because it is Sunday and it is the closing show. But I still think they've tried to be level it out of variety and entertainment. So I don't think, this is just my personal opinion, but I wouldn't go into it with too much high hopes with the Firefly Funhouse, just because I've got a feeling that because they've shot it different times, I don't think they would have seen what each other were doing too much, because again they had to do this quite quickly. I've got a feeling this is going to be totally different, and the only thing I can hope for is that we don't get play-by-play during the match, because I think that is just that's something that worked really well last night. I felt the fact they didn't have play-by-play guys there, but I could be wrong. But yeah, we'll wait and see now. Guys, I am going to be coming back for a full review of WrestleMania. So like obviously for Sunday we'll be focusing more on night 2, but I'm gonna like do a summary of night 1 as well, and it's going to be like the jam-packed review show, and it's going to come out on Tuesday, and I've got a special guest coming in, absolute legend in the UK, been wrestling for such a long while, known for a long time. We've got RJ Singh returning to the podcast. For anybody that remembers my earlier podcast, which of course was down as the Wrestling Skull podcast, RJ Singh was one of my first guest. He was probably like number 5 or 6, I believe, people that I had on. So it's going to be great to have him back. So I haven't like had him on for at least, that was, I'm trying to think now, probably 6 years ago. So it's going to be pretty cool to have him come on the show and give us his perspective from that wrestler's point of view. So that's going to be cool. But we're going to be putting it out on Tuesday, but it's going to be a gigantic show, no doubt about it. And I just want to respond to some emails that I got, and like I'll try and like there was quite a few emails from you guys, like Jimbo, Wrestler Squad number 9. He got in touch. I was worried about you, Jimbo, because you hadn't emailed me for a while. In fact, all week, WrestleMania week, so I was quite concerned about it. So I actually sent Jimbo an email just to see if he was okay, and I didn't get a reply back. But he is okay. He's doing fine. But he's just had a bit of a like us all. He's been in lockdown, and he had some problems with his Wi-Fi and stuff like that, and communicating. But he's all good, and. He was one of the people as well that had emailed in about what we're going to do post WrestleMania. Now, remember a few weeks back I suggested that I would be there would be a big change with me not doing the podcast anymore, especially in wrestling. Well, that's now going to have a delay because of obviously what's going on now with the coronavirus. Like everything, plans change. So the good news for the podcast and WrestleLine is that I'm sticking around. Now, I'm not going to be able to do daily podcasts, that's for sure, but I am going to be doing a brand new series that should hopefully fit well. It's going to be called In Your House, like the old pay-per-views from WWF, and they're going to be a watch-along series, and we're just going to pick specific matches from In Your House shows, really random stuff, and going to sit down, and I'm trying to be realistic about it here because I haven't really properly thought about it, so I don't want to say a number that I'm not